I really didn't want to make this video. As we are hopefully all aware by now, a couple of days ago at the time this was recorded, 2 back-to-back mass shootings occurred in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio. First of all, I just want to say that I, as a member of the Parkland community, grieve greatly with the families and those who were affected and the loved ones of the victims. Many people of many diverse backgrounds were shot and unfortunately killed. Today, at the time of recording this, is August 5th, 2019, and I can no longer hold back just the frustration and anger I hold. But it's frustration and anger that I know how to deal with calmly, and it's frustration and anger that I'm very familiar with. Over a year ago, my community, the Parkland community, suffered the exact same issue: mass shootings and gun violence. When on February 14th, 2018, 17 people were unfortunately killed in Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. 3 of which I have known and that I miss greatly. Over a year later, we have seen countless other mass shootings. And these 2 only add to a long, notorious list. But another thing arises which angers me more, is why it is so hard for something that in straw polls done during the midterms, most Americans support reforms to our gun laws, that it has taken so long for the Senate to convene and hold a vote. The House has already done its job. Earlier this year, in 2019, the House passed H.R. 8, or the Bipartisan Background Checks Act. Since then, it has been on the desk of Leader McConnell. What angers me is the inactivity of these politicians, some of whom are bought out by the NRA, to act morally instead of for money. These are American lives on the line, and the longer that we all wait, the longer it's going to take to fix a broken system. The longer it's going to take to bring justice and prevent more heartbreak. I hate making these kinds of videos, but I just... I'm very sure that many other Americans feel the same frustration as I do. Whether or not you are a Democrat or a Republican, you should agree that we should protect our loved ones. Whether they are in schools, churches, theaters, concerts, shopping centers, Walmarts, work, home, anywhere. We should protect those we love. The the Bipartisan Background Checks Act does not take away weapons from normal Americans. It raises the age to 21 nationwide. It ensures that weapons do not fall into the hands of those mentally disturbed legally. My friends, if I sound distraught, it's because I am distraught at this point. Gun violence in America has become an epidemic. An epidemic that needs fixing quickly and needs fixing now. How many more months? How many more years? How many more are we going to have to wait until somebody finally gains the courage and the balls to go up to the Senate and call it for a vote? Already, many people have called for the Senate to reconvene. I would like to also make those calls. I call on my 2 senators, Rick Scott and Marco Rubio to urge Leader McConnell to finally grow a pair and hold the Senate in session so we can finally sign the Bipartisan Background Checks Act into law and end this epidemic, beginning to end it once and for all so that we can save lives and prevent further heartbreak from plaguing this wonderful nation of ours. And of course, the president has to blame it on other things. This could have been a defining moment for him. He could have declared a gun violence emergency, but no. He blames it on smaller stuff like video games. Mr. President, video games are not the blame. The United States is not the only country that has them. Other countries have already introduced legislation. But to go so low and so ignorant to try and blame it on something else like video games, I understand that some video games may have a violent genre, but that's because mainly they're focused on warfare, or Fallout, or Wolfenstein, etc. They're for gameplay. I just honestly hope at this point, I really honestly hope that somebody does something very soon. And that if nobody acts, then rest assured we'll remember come November 2020. Because if these politicians really want to blame it on video games, then in November 2020, they can say to their campaigns, game over. I thank you all for your time. And I'm very hopeful that some sort of change will soon come.